Lesson 31. Topic: Continuation of Lesson 30, Levels 4, 5, and 6 of Reality. Greetings, brothers and sisters. In this lesson, I wanted to conclude the topic of the levels of reality, at least in terms of describing these levels and interacting with these dimensional levels. There are many more topics to discuss regarding these dimensions, but that will be covered in later lessons. The remaining levels, 4, 5, and 6, are the closest to the universal mind of the Father. Let's proceed from top to bottom. Level 6 can be subdivided into two: the Father's mental energy itself and an intermediate energy that communicates with Level 5. Level 5 is composed of something similar to what you refer to as higher angels. In reality, it is an immediate energy very close to the Father, which has mental power to assimilate information and a high speed of communication of that information through the preceding and following levels. This level is responsible for energy transfer. It's an immediate step between the Father and the lower dimensions. Level 4 is composed of intelligent energy, which you can define as angels. They are responsible for interaction with the lower levels, interacting with energies in the lower dimensions. They are the ones who bring about change and ensure that information spreads appropriately in the lower levels. They act as a filter so that information from the lower levels passes to the higher ones. Not all information passes, only what is necessary. If you want to interact with these three higher dimensions, what you need to do depends on what you want to achieve. If you want to achieve a superficial interaction with people in the physical world, you must operate on the fifth dimension. This interaction will occur by sending what you wish to achieve, visualizing it, and transmitting it as a message to the fifth dimension. To do this, you must know what exists in the fifth dimension. Visualize it as I described earlier. Visualize powerful angels who are between the Father and other less powerful angels. You must decide to communicate with the fifth dimension. Send the message, and that message will cause changes in the lower dimensions. This is the most direct path. I do not advise interacting with the fourth dimension because you cannot know how to translate your desires into the commands that the angels on the fourth dimension must execute. The angels of the fifth dimension handle that function. Level 6, through information feedback with Level 5, will receive information about your request, and the universal mind of the Father will then act, communicating with Level 5 in a coordinated manner. Because both are at a similar level of mental power, they will be able to issue the necessary commands to send it to the lower levels, roughly speaking, and that's how it works. If you ask how many attempts are needed to achieve certain goals, it depends on the complexity of the goals and above all on the Father's plans. This will determine whether your request will be successful. Requests at this level are usually only successful when you have received confirmation from the Father that your request has been accepted for implementation. Otherwise, there will be no effect. Or worse, the effect will be negative for everyone involved in the request, including the petitioner. This will serve as a lesson for everyone to learn the right path. At this level, when communicating with higher levels, levels 5 and 6, one is usually much more successful when the request is made in a coordinated manner among many minds, among many people asking for the same thing. This requires mental coordination, purity of thought, and uniformity of knowledge, which each person must possess to transmit that knowledge. In other words, one must send a pure message, free from collateral meanings that could interfere and alter the message. Having said this method cannot be used frequently. I do not recommend it. It all depends on the meditation group you have and the purity of thought present. If only one person makes the request, it usually works better because there is only one thought. However, be careful that there are no collateral thoughts as everything is transmitted. To practice this path, you can start with simple things. simple changes that you want people to make, always for their good. But first, you have to consult with the Father. You have to learn to create a pure thought that has no side effects. I repeat, start with simple things, little by little, and raise the level. When many people are involved in a change, it usually takes time to take effect, but it will be more effective if it's done with group meditation, and many people are focusing on that thought. I don't recommend more than 10 or 12 people in a meditation group, especially if they are all in one place. That's enough for today then. Start with simple things. It's a very good practice, and that will increase your mental power and your connection with the universe. So until next time, brothers and sisters.